Hello everyone and welcome back to the Blackfoot Book Club and another volume of my essential film reviews collection. Thanks for being there and thanks very much for returning. You tell them there's a suitcase full of money and you don't want it. So what could possibly drive a sane, intelligent and reasonable young man with a burgeoning career in chartered accountancy ahead of him to go and live in a loft and drill spy holes in the ceiling in the process? Maybe it's that goddamn telephone that just won't stop ringing, or perhaps it's the dead body and the suitcase full of money, or has the exciting world of chartered accountancy finally driven the poor man over the edge? All is revealed in Danny Boyle's first cinematic treat, and 20 years on from its initial release it still remains a genuine treat that is still fresh and vibrant. And if you're not smiling broadly at the end when Andy Williams's Happy Heart is playing to a conclusion, then you've clearly missed the point. Written by John Hodge in what was to become the first of many such collaborations with director Boyle, and funded by both Film 4 International and the Glasgow Film Fund, it's a simple tale of friendship, split loyalties, and how a totally unforeseen episode can change and destroy these friendships forever. Juliet Miller, Kerry Fox, is a straight-ahead, fun-loving doctor whose tangled love life nominally includes her flatmate David Stevens, Christopher Eccleston, the aforementioned chartered accountant. They share a flat with Alex Law, Ewan McGregor, a journalist who takes nothing, including himself, seriously. The three friends are firm friends as well as flatmates, and this is established immediately after the end of the Killing Zoe inspired opening credits, as Juliet, David and Alex interview potential new flatmates for their spare bedroom in their spacious Edinburgh flat. All three are professional, educated and enjoy their young lives, with Juliet constantly avoiding her tangled love life, David's irreverent and sarcastic behaviour belying his staid, professional career, brilliantly exemplified when describing himself as the Antichrist to a prospective new flatmate. And Alex is the constant joker of the three and never taking anything seriously. After interviewing and accepting Hugo, Keith Allen, as their new flatmate, their lives will be changed forever. All three headline roles were filled with relative unknowns 20 years ago, but the success of Shallow Grave propelled all three into highly successful acting careers, particularly Ewan McGregor, who continued to collaborate with Danny Boyle on the phenomenal Trainspotting and A Life Less Ordinary, then working with directors of the calibre of George Lucas, Baz Luhrmann, Ridley Scott and Tim Burton. Synonymous as his character Renton in Trainspotting, he excels in his first major cinematic role and brings much of the film's dark humour to the surface with his irreverent ways. But Juliet, you're a doctor. You kill people every day. Tellingly, it's Alex who, in the midst of a spending spree, is the one enjoying his newfound freedom, quaffing champagne and smoking cigars. But equally telling is his "nothing will ever be the same again" pronouncement into his new and expensive handheld camera, as he details his newfound wealth and life. Each of the three main characters have distinctive character arcs, and none is more displayed more starkly than Christopher Eccleston's portrayal of chartered accountant David. He's a reluctant conspirator, full of repressed anger and self-loathing, which is covered by his irreverent and sarcastic demeanour, and an absolutely star performance from Eccleston, and arguably the best of the three headliners. His explosion of anger and threats to put an unwanted admirer for the affection of his girlfriend into a fucking bin bag is another of the film's true highlights. Eccleston would team up again with director Boyle in 28 Days Later and almost steal the film with a thunderous performance, and he's best known for his Time Lord escapades in Doctor Who. However, his portrayal of Trevor Hicks in Hillsborough moves me to tears on every watch and shouldn't be overlooked for the masterclass in dramatic acting that it is. The nominal headline role in the film went to Kerry Fox, and whilst not as successful as her male co-stars, she has a voluminous record of TV and short films to her career credit. As Shallow Grave progresses, so too does her femme fatale persona, and an utterly perfect performance to boot. Supporting these unknown actors in their first cinematic roles is firstly the wonderful Keith Allen as the unfortunate Hugo, and Allen returns in Trainspotting in another small cameo role, but a far larger role is filled by Ken Stott as the probing, questioning and laconic Detective Inspector McCall. Peter Mullen is excellent as Andy before re-teaming with the director on Trainspotting, and Colin McCready plays put upon and constantly ridiculed Cameron very well. There is also a minor cameo role for writer John Hodge as Detective Constable Mitchell. Suffice to say, this is an incredible debut film from Danny Boyle, and the first of many eminently quotable, tension-building, graphically depicted, blackly comedic and career-defining pieces of cinematic history. The incidentals, such as the constantly ringing telephone and the haunting, wandering signature piano music of the soundtrack by Simon Boswell, ratchet the tension from a simple narrative of three friends enjoying life to three antagonists desperate to escape. As with so many of his films, Danny Boyle uses the soundtrack, with further music supplied by the band Leftfield and individual songs to great effect. Alongside the closing Andy Williams song Happy Heart, there is just one further song in the entire film, Nina Simone's My Baby Just Cares For Me, but it's used brilliantly as we see our flatmates going about their daily life against the backdrop of the dead body still residing in their flat. Pop culture references also abound and are very much reflective of the mood of the film, with the awful Loser Million game show juxtaposed later in the film with a snippet of The Wicker Man. Caustically funny, with sporadic bursts of graphic violence, but much is off-screen or in the shadows. The film triumphs with so many standout scenes and three career-defining performances from Fox, Eccleston and McGregor. From the chiding of Cameron to a suitcase full of unexplained money, through a rising body count and the destruction of three friendships, it's also the camera work and angles used by Boyle and director of photography Brian Tufano that impresses with every re-watching. There are oblique shots between floorboards, a dark and dank loft lighted brilliantly through shards of light, and the reflection of the intruder in David's glasses is a joy to behold, as are the numerous sweeping camera shots of the inside of the flat and the spiralling shots upwards of the stairs outside. But the Strip the Willow scene at a local charity dinner has it all. Gregarious and drunken young people enjoying their life amid a rising tide of anger, resentment and sexual tension, all stripping away the bonds of friendship. It's a wonderful film, and I count myself very lucky to have seen it on its initial release 20 years ago, and I never tire of seeing this beautiful creation time and time again. But can you do me a quick favour please and answer that damn telephone? Otherwise, I might be forced to go and live in the loft. Amazing film, Shallow Grave, directed by Danny Boyle, and I couldn't possibly highly recommend it to you enough. And by the end, by the film's conclusion, my oh my oh my. Incredible ending, which I won't spoil obviously. I leave you in peace and in solidarity. I highly recommend you go see Shallow Grave. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.